This is what I want y'all to do. I mean, for those who are watching, whoever is watching, I want y'all to take a ride with me. Ride with me to drop my daughter off to the daycare. But keep in mind, the Honorable Dean T. Kusakabe ordered that I have to have my daughter at the daycare at 8 a.m. in the morning. Let me remind you, I have to make sure that my daughter is good before I take her out into this world. What I mean is that I have to wake her up to consciousness. I have to bathe her. Then I have to feed her and make sure she is hydrated. Then I have to dress her and pack necessary things just in case she's hungry or thirsty or need to be changed. Because remember, I've been doing this since she was 11 months old. You know, or whatever the case may be. I have to pack it, in a bag and tote it with us where we going. But the Honorable Dean T. Kusakabe said,
I am going to be, so that's what I expect to be followed. Yeah, thank you very much, Ms. Madison. I've made it very clear that then it's not going to happen. And if it happens, then I'm going to restrict your time. I promise you that.
Keep in mind that I'm either pushing my daughter in a stroller or carrying her in my arms through all type of weather. This is because she couldn't walk yet or just wanted that oneness with her father. Right here is the daycare, which is exactly next door. My daughter always look in the gate as we pass by every time.
Royale's a modern day pharaoh. From the projects, a product of the ghetto. Never settle, take it to another level. Where the sky ain't limited and cops don't shadow. And the women look good and they not so shallow. When your pockets ain't deep and you're not Jim Kimmel. On a late night, the streets is no place to sleep. These cold days don't come cheap. Robbed the narrow and heat, learn the hard way. 4th floor seat at the Barclays. Dudes our age, thinking they Scarface. Should've spoke to them, say hello to them, then they go through them. Talking about the gift that God gave. Chest off the board, it still played the same. With every move is something to lose, something to gain. Make everything count, fuck pumping the ounce. I'm kingpin in the bounce, in the penthouse, top floor. Get your queen to king knocked over. Right, illegal was the easy way out. They couldn't understand the mechanics and the workings of the underworld. Granted, 9 to 5's how we survive. I ain't trying to survive, trying to live it to the limit and love it alive. 9 to 5's how we survive. I ain't trying to survive, trying to live it to the limit and love it alive.
Think you can get through me? Come on! I'm just getting started.
I'm making my own land. They want you laid up in Benters, whip bent up. They want the judge throw the book at you, the sentence shut. They want you claim a set, so they can claim the opposite. Chilling with your children and they asking who you riding with. Cops still prowling, hunger pains don't stop your stomach from growling. Stranded out in Shaolin, tiger style, got stripes from the street life. Dudes pop pills now, they don't use pipes. That's why the last pack you push ain't add up quite right. Rent still due, and your sneakers ain't looking that new. The car's unmarked and they looking at you. Even try to call Nikki, but it ain't go through. Knowing your daughter need diapers and baby shoes, got you filling out apps. It's similar to craps. Your jump shot ain't that wicked and you don't rap. It's like life passed you by, she ain't look back. I'm making my own land.
Now, when we exit this train, a river of people pours in as a river of people pours out. So it's hard to maneuver with a child. Now, this is where shit get hectic. When we reach the elevator, there is always a line of people waiting to get on. Sometimes the line be halfway to the stairs. The bad thing about it is, when it rains or snows, the water and the snow will be on those stairs. I mean, real talk, to hell with me. But what about the baby? Nonetheless, if we wait to get on the elevator, look how much room is in there. I don't want these people up and close on my daughter like that at all. So guess what I have to do?
Everybody knows she all about the dough. The way about it, music got me coming back for more. She make me say yeah. She make me say yeah. She make me say yeah.
Yo, senorita, como esta? K-pop, you got my heart. And I'm speaking in the language of love, cause I can tell you love hanging with thugs. So go ahead and ask a sucker. She'll say there's no other. Young motherfucker, quite like this brother. That's young rifle. Like your weak ass. You speak fast, you trick fast. You don't get cash, your bitch ass. You have her muscle like Carter. And I'm muy guapo. You can follow me to the villa in Key Largo.
Get it, take it to the floor. Push it, bring it up, and then she drop it slow. Everybody knows she all about the dough. The way about it, music got me coming back for more. She make me say yeah. She make me say yeah. She make me say yeah.
Sometimes, especially in the morning, this area is flooded with passengers. I know because I used to come this way to go to school. You know, every morning, evening, afternoon, this was the way that I used to go to school.
I put my car in my mama name, like I put my house in my mama name. If my mama pass, I won't get a thing. She putting it all in my sister name. I just hope she pay the taxes on it. They gon' kill her with the taxes on it. I would've turned them to asses, homie. She way too attached to attachments, homie.
I want you to win, though we had a bond. You irresponsible, can't respond. Leave you alone before I do you harm. The saddest part, you don't believe you wrong. Lucky me, that's what you thinking. Work all week, play your weekend. Sneak and sleep in, between blinks and ain't no weekend, let that sink in. You're way too attached. I be deep in, every toe in, you ain't even peeking. You ain't seen nothing, you was sleeping. Really in the streets, you was in the sheets. Man, I know your kind. Nothing wrong with you, just not like mine. And that's fine, I ain't gonna waste your time. I'ma let you get back to your Jordan line. You're way too attached. You're way too attached to attachments, homie. You're way too attached. Let you get back to your Jordan line. You're way too attached to attachments, homie. You're way too attached.
So after 3 trains in all type of conditions, I dropped my daughter off, who to this day screams for her daddy when we depart. And this is the daycare where my daughter was hidden from me. And down there is where my daughter dwells. Where the arrows are pointing is the train station where we walk to and from. When it rains, it comes on the platform. When it snows, it comes on the platform, along with ice, because the train station platform is outside and exposed to the elements. This is the apartment building in which my daughter daycare is in the basement of. So you seen the road I traveled for almost 3 years. But look at this. If you look closely, better yet, look at the arrow. The bridge where the arrow is pointing is the distance that my daughter mother has to travel. She has a car. I thought it would be a good idea for her to drop my daughter off to me every day, and she pick her up every day after she get out of work. That's free of charge, no money. But the judge feels that this is what's best for the system. Pardon me, I mean the best interest of the child. But the only way that this will be over is if I surrender. And that's never gonna happen, if you can't tell by now. Before I continue, I want to say that I tried everything within my power, within my will, before and during this court ordeal to end it reasonably. I try to stay righteous in this situation. I went to everyone in my daughter's mother's circle who I thought could be a logical medium. They all agreed to, talk sense to her about what really matters. Maybe because of the unwritten girl power code. They would always return making excuses for her actions. I even sat down with one of her friends who I thought was cool. I mean, real cool, like a dude. That didn't even work either. While I reached out for help, this friend had me on speakerphone or something, recording me the whole time. I'm looking at her, mess with her phone right in front of me, not respecting that I am King Record in all humility. So they wanted to hear me say something, some type of negativity. So I said a few things deliberately just to tickle their fancy. This is what I was dealing with. Straight kiddie shit. What makes sense do not apply here. It's like an epidemic. Oh, let me add this. I even wrote a 5-page letter directly to my daughter's mother with my hand. In this letter, I offered to get away with her and my daughter to Atlantic City, and I was going to cover all the expenses. I offered to give her a program Fire Stick so she wouldn't have to pay a high cable bill. I also offered her an Apple Watch. I even said, I could still consider her my wife. In this letter, I also proposed an offer where she can get every holiday with my daughter forever in return of my daughter being with me while her mother was at work. When this case first started, and I came to the conclusion that this is not done by the book. So I started doing mad research. I've been up. This is no lie. I hardly get any sleep. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how another man can just be like, because a lot of dudes was coming to me. They was like, wait till your daughter 18. She'll come to you. I'm like, that's the dumbest shit I have ever heard. So, maybe that's why, I roll dolo a lot, because I'm not like the masses. But anyway, I've been up studying law and all that other crazy stuff and doing a lot of research. You know what I'm saying? When you realize that your kid's mother, your kid's father, when you're in family court, your kid's mother, your kid's father is not your opponent. That is not your enemy. You have to learn about these court officers who are supposed to be held at high standards and do their due diligence. You have to learn about them. So while studying and researching the Honorable Dean Kusakabe, I came across this. It's called a robing room. Like the gowns the judges wear. The subtitle states, "Where judges are judged." It's a site where you can write a review and read others' review about any judge in any state in this country. These are the reviews of the Honorable Dean T. Kusakabe. I'm going to read a couple. I'm not going to read them all. I'm going to read a couple too. I'm going to start with the first one. It states, "This judge conspired with the Children Law Center attorney and his clerk to delay cases. The law clerk is not objective and frequently talks with and make decisions with the children law attorney. They pick sides and then conspire against the other parent. You never get to see the judge again because your case is always being postponed." Sound familiar? The judge does not follow established custody agreements, and when you hire a lawyer, the clerk postpones your case, so you never see the judge again. They tried that with me too. They tried that with me with Drunk Bonnie, because they kept bullshitting it and making reasons to come back, and that's a whole nother thing, I'll talk about it another time. But I guess I made Drunk Bonnie so uncomfortable. That's the court attorney, Bonnie Gershon. I made her feel so uncomfortable that she didn't want to be bothered with me no more. So that plan was foiled too. But anyway, it says it was the worst experience in Judge Kusakabe court, and I hope he reads this. Let me go to another one. Let me go to the next one. It says the judge was given 15 years on the bench with no election after a very mediocre career as an attorney for the child. He is a living fraud on the court. His cronyistic relationship with the Children Law Center is a scandal. His new court attorney, Sarah Wayne, she was employed with the CLC Children Law Center for 15 years and talks to her buddies there every day. How can the unified court system allow this conflict of interest? If the Commissioner of Judicial Conduct were not a kangaroo court for judges, they would investigate and disbar him. This is a lawyer saying this. You know what I mean? This is not no disgruntled parent or litigant or whatever. Let me go to another. I'm going to skip one. I'm going to go to this one right here. A civil litigant, right? It says, he never looks at his witnesses. He never look at the witnesses. prefer to sitting over a keyboard with his back to the courtroom, does not have one clue about rules of evidence, and I just proved that, highly prejudiced, make snide under his breath comments about parties, no regard for, or perhaps more charitable, no knowledge of the letter of the law. And that's a fact. I just proved that. This dude was just freestyling. He had no clue about the law. You know, but it says, takes forever to make the simplest decision. Overall worst judge I encountered in 30 years. I'm going to read one more. I'm going to read the next one. It's from other. I don't know what they are. They all gave him, look, 1 star. They rates him, so look, he got 1.5 star. And that's being, generous. But the last one I'm going to read is from someone named Other, or whatever. Anyway, it says he's incompetent, issuing orders accidentally, forgetting orders made in previous hearings, prejudiced, hypocritical, bigoted, and with scant regard for the interests of the children he is supposed to be defending. So as I dig a little deeper, I came across this. This is FCLU. The website name, the website is fcvfc.org. Now, let me say this right quick. This, look, it's called Family Civil Liberties Union, right? This page is the 20 worst family court judges in New York State in 2016. Now let me explain to you. We have 5 boroughs, right, in New York City, right? And each borough has a family court. So there are numerous family court judges in each borough. But this is for the state of New York. You know, for everybody to understand, you have New York City and New York State. You have what we call up north, upstate, all right? You got Syracuse, you got Rochester, you got Schenectady, you got Albany. Did I say Albany already? But it's so many towns, so many cities or towns or cities in upstate New York that has family court judges too. So there is hundreds of family court judges in the state of New York. But let me read this first paragraph before I continue about how big the state of New York is. So it reads, after an exhaustive 4-month survey of litigants, attorney, and judges in New York State's family and matrimonial courts, and with the cooperation of numerous organizations and individuals. So hold on. This is like so many people that they're taking a survey, you know, like on Family Feud, the top 100 answers, you know, like that. This is a survey of, let me just add this, attorney and judges, right? So it says, with the cooperation of numerous organizations and individuals, here is a list of the 20 judges who have most egregiously failed to perform their statutory duties in 2016. In the interest of our children and family and the citizenry that pays their lofty salaries, they all need to be investigated, audited, and removed from the bench. I don't know whoever came up with this page or this organization, but let's just look into this page a little further, because like this is other judges too that's taking a survey of other judges. Out of hundreds of judges, these are the top 20 worst judges in the state of New York. So when you stroll down, a little bit, matter of fact, I'm gonna do it like this. When you stroll down, let's look at who is the fourth worst judge in the state of New York. The Honorable Dean T. Kusakabe. Unbelievable. Dean Kusakabe, Kings County Family Court. They label him as incompetent, bigotry, cronyism, and casual cruelty are Kusakabe's main characteristics. He came to the bench July 2012 with no training as a judge. He was appointed by Mayor Bloomberg. When I first read this, I was pretty sure that Bloomberg appointed the Honorable Dean T. Kusakabe because, you know, he was a good money maker. Bloomberg was all about money. You know, I think he, I heard he paid for his own campaign and nomination. But let me finish reading. He was appointed by Mayor Bloomberg, who was trying to burnish his poor diversity record. See, now, the third sentence makes sense now. Because he wasn't appointed because of his greatness as a lawyer or a judge. The Honorable Dean Kusakabe was appointed because there was not enough Oriental judges. Okay, let me finish. Let me continue reading. His ignorance of the law was vividly demonstrated when he recently allowed the powerful attorney-mother of a mother-litigant to represent her daughter, even though she was a principal witness in the case. This was a clear violation of the attorney witness law, Rule 3.7 of the NYRPC, and case law established by the 2nd Department Appellate Division. Now, this is the same 2nd Department that the Honorable Dean T. Kusakabe said is the higher court in this area and supersedes the Constitution. But if that's the law the Honorable Dean Kusakabe lives by, why did he disregard it in that case just mentioned? This dude just be freestyling on the bench, like, you know, going off the dome. Anyway, let me continue. As such, he knowingly violated Judicial Canon Section 100.2a. A judge shall respect and comply with the law. Crazy. In violation of another judicial canon, Section 100.3b4, Kusakabe is deeply biased in favor of mothers. In one recent case, he allowed an unsupervised visitation to a mother despite conclusive evidence that she was mentally unstable. Kusakabe is terrified of pro se litigants who he persecutes. In one ongoing case, he delayed court proceedings by 6 months just to decide whether or not the father should relieve his attorney and proceed pro se. Meanwhile, he denied that father any contact with his daughter without giving him any hearing on the allegations made by the mother. it's crazy. You know, it's not me. Like I said, maybe he's just biased against men. You know what I mean? I don't know, maybe something happened to him in his childhood with a man. You know what I mean? Maybe he got violated by a man and just holding that against all men. You know? And it's sad because I thought it was just, you know, maybe because I got my dreads and, you know, I wasn't, you know, just going along with whatever he said, that he had something against me, but this is his pattern. You know what I mean? He has an ill pattern of this. And like I say again, thank God I recorded it. But where was that? Okay. Right here. Kusakabe has a wholly inappropriate relationship with the taxpayer-funded Children's Law Center, whom he appoints as the attorney for the child in every case he takes. See, this is starting to sound more and more like a RICO, you know, and this how a lot of minority communities are conformed to thinking that the RICO stands for, you know, a lot of inner city big time drug dealers. But look up the definition, and the things that I reveal will show you that this is the RICO. You know what I mean? Because look, he's using, just look it up. So Cozy is his, let me finish reading right here. So Cozy is his relationship to the CLC, that he even has a mailbox openly on view in his courtroom for his correspondence with the CLC. He allowed the CLC to testify in cases before him in violation of the attorney witness rule. He denies applications to disqualify the CLC even when conflict of interest has been proven. For example, he denied disqualification applications when it was proved that the mother's attorney was also employed by the CLC, or when the CLC was employing the babysitter of a subject child. Kusakabe calendar is managed by his hapless court attorney, Bonnie Gershon, a.k.a. Drunk Bonnie, who contributes to the Dickensian atmosphere of Kusakabe's courtroom. Clutching her coffee thermos like a baby's blanket, she wanders aimlessly around the 9th floor corridor like Miss Havisham. Peep this though. And held it against me and prevent me further from being a father to my daughter. And by the court's weapon of presumption in Article 19 of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, they have every right to label me as a substance or alcohol abuser if they have pictures of me like this. But you know, every time I seen Drunk Bonnie, she appeared to be like cold, like sweater and jacket cold, and half dead in the face all the time, like she was coming down from a binge or some shit. This is just my opinion. On that note, this website compares Drunk Bonnie Gershon to a Charles Dickens character named Miss Havisham. I'm going to give you a visual of who they compare court attorney Bonnie Gershon to. I'm going to need your help on this one, Boogie.
Yeah, and it goes. Tank top on, sweatpants over the stove top. Corner store run, I need 2 more boxes of fold tops. Mason jar in the old pot. Ayy, you keep rocking and you don't stop. I put that doo-wop in the soda, make that bitchy do a talk. Gabby Douglas with the wristwear, turn skateboards into a truck. Yeah, alright. We just call it coming up. I let my old head test it, now that motherfucker stuck. The neighbors know about us. I'm moving New York Knicks, chasing Milwaukee Bucks. I'm on my New York shit, skelly top making plucks. Kill the block, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. I know they ask about us, but if it ain't about paper, then I don't say much. It's boogie boogie if you ain't heard of me. Yeah, from DMP, now it's BDP, cause I'm getting
down paper. Down paper. Down paper. Down paper.
Rubber band money, all of it in tube socks. Crib full of hammers, call that theater tool shop. Bust the whole thing down, all in pool shots. Keep rocking and you don't stop. I'm sticking to the script and still serving stack on niggas. About to get a beeper, take it back on niggas. All day, all night, ain't no slacking niggas. And when it's gone, I'm Sean Carter, fade to black on niggas. Yeah. Then I'm back on niggas like I never left. Puffin' purple, playing purple tape while I Raekwon the chef. Yeah, I'm just getting to the check. Moving work, no clock, no desk. All the work is out with no stretch. I give it a blueprint with no sketch. If you can catch it, it's a sight to see. I'm KRS and this is BDP, cause I'm getting
Down.
The reason why I showed you an image of this Havisham or Havisham of the Dickinson play Great Expectations is because what is said in the 20 Worst Judge about Dean T. Kusakabe, court attorney Bonnie Gershon, is so precise. It's so precise to what you just saw. I mean, you could just be in your feelings, you know, because from just walking in there, you feel a whole different heavy entity just like weigh on you. You know, it's a spiritual place. And when I say spiritual, I'm not speaking like, you know, heavenly, you know, because that's not the only spirits. It's, you know, is the opposite of good. And good spirits probably dwell there, but it's hard to notice them because it is you constantly being attacked by these evil spirits. So you probably don't notice these things about these people, or you just have the utmost respect and giving these people the benefit of the doubts because they supposed to be in a position of high esteem, you know. So, or you could just be into yourself, whatever the case may be. But I noticed these things in Drunk Bonnie. Notice how her eyes look sunk in. I noticed how you can look at her and tell that she lacks sleep, whatever the case may be. But it could be a job. It could be her viruses, meaning her evil influences, which can be something toxic, something that, you know, she voluntarily turns to. But I don't know who made this website, and they hit it right on the head. But I'm gonna go back and continue reading. You know, it says, I'm gonna go right here to, you know, I'm gonna go back to this sentence right here. Right there. Kusakabe's calendar is managed by his hapless court attorney, Johnny Gershon, who contributes to the Dickensian atmosphere of Kusakabe courtroom. That right there says a lot too. Because if you look at what the video that I just put together of Miss Havisham, if you look at what we can, define as the atmosphere, it's very dark. You know what I mean? Even when it was sunlight or it was dark. And that goes along with what I said about the evil spirits that lurks and prey on the souls of the people that's in there. But anyway, let me go back. The Dickensian atmosphere of Kusakabe's courtroom. Clutching her coffee thermos like a baby blanket, she wanders aimlessly around the 9th floor court corridor like Miss Havisham. In court conferences, she regularly resorts to screaming or just break down in tears. Now, I can imagine, I never saw her break down in tears, but she tried to scream at me and I barked back at her, and she tucked her tail between her legs and then said she's not gonna be sitting in on this case anymore right after that. But anyway, let me go back to break down in tears. That says a lot too. If you're not built for it, why are you there? You messing with people's lives, you messing with families, you doing all that. So why are you there if you're not built like that? What are you gaining out of this that you are enduring all this stress on you, on your mind and your body? And okay, your soul is involved too, because you are in control of where you want to be, where your soul is going to be, and who's going to control your soul. But that's on you, Bonnie. According to Gershon, she have over 1,100 pending cases on Kusakabe's docket. See, that's crazy. Anyway, how can any judge get his head around the number of custody cases? As a result of this gross irresponsibility, Kusakabe regularly gets the name of the litigants wrong. He sends orders to the wrong address or just neglects to send them out. That is so true, because peep this. Okay, let me begin with saying that the Honorable Dean T. Kusakabe mailed this order to my neighbor, but on the